All the time we spent, wonder where it went. Why must time move on?
What's the language?
Oh yeah, and the language is you can curse all you want. It doesn't. We don't.
Well, good, because I doubt I'd have been able to stop.
There you go. There you go. Well, welcome to the fucking show. This is the Final Picture Show podcast. I'm Matt. That's Travis, and we are joined by a guest this evening. Our friend Colin here, who has his own podcast that he's a part of. Colin, do your little sales pitch.
Hey, I'm Colin. I am from an actual play podcast called Astronomica, where we do an ongoing science fiction adventure in the Stars Without Number role-playing setting. And we've been going for about 5 years. Check it out or don't. Either way is fine by me.
Yeah.
I enjoy making it. Whether or not people listen to it is kind of secondary.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
I'm always reminded of that part of Empire Records when he's like gluing the quarters to the floor and he's like, I don't have to explain my art to you. It's like, yeah, you don't have to explain shit.
Damn right.
You make what you make. Thank you. Well, yeah, Colin is going to here tonight to talk with us about a movie that I randomly chose for us to watch. Slipstream from 1989, a movie that I believe almost everyone has forgotten about, because this is a movie that if you look it up on the internet, there's not a lot of information, although there is I did find like a documentary that was on the BBC channel about this movie, about the making of it, and it's like 25 minutes long. It's on YouTube. I'll put a link to it. Actually, I watched this movie on YouTube. Is that where you guys watched it at?
Yeah, I just followed the link you sent me.
Yeah. Every now and then it's on Tubi. For this particular time, we decided to watch it. It wasn't on Tubi. It was on Plex or some shit, but I clicked on that, and it just did not work.
I went to the one on Roku channel, and it was so bad. Like, the video quality was so bad. Like, YouTube was way better.
The YouTube is like almost like a 4K quality. Like, it's very nice to look at. It's very pleasant. Yeah, this movie is actually a movie that was never released in America. That's a fun little fact. Yeah, it came out in 1989.
Okay.
And as we get into the background of it, which here we go, you'll learn a little bit more about why it is somewhat the way it is, because there is some interesting history here. The main history starts with the producer, which is a man named Gary Kurtz. Either of you familiar with Mr. Kurtz's work?
Well, he was a Star Wars guy, right?
He is, yeah. He was George Lucas's like right-hand man, yeah. Up until Empire Strikes Back. Then they had kind of a falling out. But yeah, he was a producer. He worked right alongside George Lucas. Did Two Lane Blacktop as well, American Graffiti, Star Wars, Empire Strike Back, Dark Crystal, Return to Oz, and then this. And that pretty much killed his career.
Oh.
Yeah.
This movie basically bankrupted him.
Damn. Okay. I like all the rest of those. I really feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, he didn't really get a whole lot of second chances.
Hang on. I'm going to come out swinging. I kind of liked this.
I kind of like this movie, too.
I was going to say, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not the best movie ever.
No. But like, it's on par with Krull, and I respect it more.
Ooh.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies right there.
I was going to say, that's a deep cut there for Travis. Yeah, he's talked about that one a lot.
No, really? Okay.
Yeah, he loves Krull. Usually we say our thoughts at the end, but fucking do it at the beginning. I thought this movie was really cool. As far as like 80s sci-fi movies go, it's very derivative of a lot of the movies that came before it. And that's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Well, especially in 2025, because like we have such like a dredge of good sci-fi movies that aren't related to superheroes, that now this movie stands out as being like kind of like refreshing when I watched it. Like, I liked the soundtrack, I liked the visuals, I liked the setting. I fucking loved Mark Hamill being a villain. There were so many like good things. Now, there's like good ideas in it, and then put together, it makes for a decent movie. There's some stretches that are kind of shitty.
Oh yeah, and just also like a lot of unforced errors.
Yeah,
that you're like, okay, what? The question I had all through the movie, and I think this might like lead into more background info. Normally when you ask the question, how did this get made? It's like, how did this shit get, no, to me, I'm just like, how did this get made? Like who said, yeah, okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Because it is a weird movie.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So Gary Kurtz, he would, after this, mostly he would continue making movies, even though he kind of entered bankruptcy. Most of them are kids movies that I have never heard of or seen, and including titles such as Gangster Kittens.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sounds like a bunch of DVDs you might pick up at like a Dollar General when you're checking out or something. But yeah, that he's the main producer here. He hired the director Steven Lisberger, who is responsible for Tron. He directed that along with Donald Kushner. Just the first one, although they get credited as writers or co-creators and all the rest of them, like the one that just came out, which I still have not seen. And I'm never going to watch Tron Ares, I don't think.
Yeah, me neither.
I just don't have any desire to see it.
It's a hard ask, you know?
It's a hard ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Steven Lisberger only really did like 3 movies. He did Tron. Before Tron, he did Animal Olympics.
Awesome.
Which I used to love that movie when I was a kid.
I have never even heard of that.
I
imagine it's...
It is a really silly animated... I think it was made for HBO or Cinemax. It was, and it's voiced by like Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg. I think Robin Williams is in it. Gilda Radner, and they're all just animals like lions, alligators, reenacting Olympic athlete events.
Yeah,
for the summer games that were coming up in I think 79.
79 or 80. Yeah,
79 or 80. Yeah. So yeah, he did Tron, he did Animal Olympics, and he did this. And that's pretty much it. This would be the last thing he ever directed up until 2025. He never did anything else after this movie. So the 2 people we've talked about so far, this movie killed their career.
Good Lord.
The writer, I mean, not the writer, we'll get to the writers in a second. The director and the producer never recovered from this movie, which is kind of funny because it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Of all the movies that we've talked about, this one is far from the worst. Oh, God. So the writing is the most interesting background of this movie. So this kind of gets us more into a little bit, and we'll branch into the cast as well. So there's one credited writer, just one. And that is a man named Tony Caden, who didn't really write a whole lot else. He was mostly known as a producer, which gives you immediate insight if you look at the background of movies. Usually, if you're looking at the background of a movie and you see the producer as the writer, that means that somewhere along the way, a writer quit. And the producer just got credited as like, well, you get the screenplay now. Beyond this, Tony Caden would also write 2 episodes of Little House on the Prairie. There you go.
Okay.
The uncredited writers, there are 2 of them. One of them is Bill Barrer, who would not really ever write much else other than this. That was pretty much it. He just did this. The other guy, though, is a 3rd writer who actually refused credit for this. So he would, his name would be completely removed. And he is Charles Edward Poage, who is a writer of many, many things, including the following. Psycho 3. The Fly with the one David Cronenberg directed.
Okay, shit.
Yep. Cole the Conqueror.
Hey.
And Dragonheart. He wrote the novel that Dragonheart was based off of, and he wrote the screenplay for Dragonheart.
Dragonheart was the Sean Connery, I am the last. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. Yep. And so he based this screenplay off of 2 things. One was pretty obvious, Mad Max. It's the 80s. Mad Max was popular, and hey, what if we took the flying machine from Road Warrior and based like a whole movie about just like flying machines? And if you watch the background of the movie, that's kind of like what the premise of why they set it up is like they have this like world where everyone needs to fly, and they have all these cool looking flying contraptions. Fuck it, let's use them, right? That's what we have access to. As we go. It was going to be set in Australia. And the other big source material that it was based on was Huckleberry Finn. He wanted to make a post-apocalyptic Huck Finn.
Okay, I can see it now.
Imagine Bill Paxton as, and then you switch the android. There you go.
I was about to say,
Yep, that's literally the whole idea. That's basically it. They wanted to take the story of Huck Finn and put it in a Mad Max-esque post-apocalyptic world, and they were going to do sand, literally like a sand world, just like Mad Max, but they couldn't afford to film in Australia. So instead, they filmed in Ireland, which is where this movie was mostly filmed. Ireland and Turkey. When they get to like the village at the end of it with all the people, like the cultists and everything, that's Turkey. But when they're filmed like the gorge at the beginning where like everyone's flying and Mark Hamill and everyone, but all that's Ireland. And so it was cheaper to film there. So then, okay, well, we switched the setting. So they kind of changed the elements around. So you can kind of see like where the movie took off. His version, though, was going to be a lot more violent. He wanted a lot of violence. Like it was going to be a hard R, kind of like Mad Max. Like this is not for kids. Obviously, if you watch the movie, that's not in here. No. There's like a couple of fight scenes, and they're not very graphic with their violence. There's like
a lot of it.
Go ahead.
A lot of it happens off screen. Like you see people shooting, and then you see them like piling rocks on top of people. But
exactly,
yeah, okay,
that's it. Yeah, there was also going to be a little bit more sexy time. Bill Paxton's character was going to have interact with the ladies a bit more. He does that a little bit here in one scene, but we don't really see anything.
And to great comic effect.
To great comic effect, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, we can't like speculate on like what the movie would have been like because there's no director's cut. They didn't film any of those parts of the script. They literally cut them out and that's it. They're just not, they were never filmed. So there is no alternate cut where you see like a little bit more graphic violence and a little bit more of like a Mad Max type movie. That's not here at all. They just removed all of that. Didn't film any of it at all because they were trying to aim more for kids. Hence the casting of Mark Hamill coming off. This was the first thing he did after Star Wars.
No shit.
Yeah. This was the very first thing he did after Jedi.
Wow.
And same, like similar producers to someone he was familiar with. So you can kind of see like why. And then he wanted to go against Ty playing the bad guy. He just got done playing Luke for so many years. He's been the good guy. He's been the good guy. He's been the good guy. Let's, switch it up. But you can kind of see like he carried over when he did the Joker and his voice actor. Have either of y'all seen the recent movie, The Long Walk?
Yes.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I saw that.
I really like that movie. And Mark Hamill is great in that, and he's the villain in that movie too.
He was good. He was also good, not exactly as a villain, but as sort of like villainous character in that last Mike Flanagan like Halloween. It was the one that was based on Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
Basically, he was like, oh yeah, this is the Fall of the House of Usher, but here's this guy who's actually from a Lovecraft story. It didn't make a lot of sense, but he was really good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Mark Hamill. He's great in most of things he's in. He's really good in, or he at least tries very hard, even if they're not the best movies sometimes.
Yeah. But for example. And also, from what you can tell about a person just based on the squawking noises they make into the internet, seems like a really solid dude.
Yeah.
That never hurts.
Yeah, no, he seems like a really cool guy. Yeah. We skipped over our sign of the apocalypse, but we're recording this on the day that, historical-wise, we're recording this on the day the United States basically invaded Venezuela. And kidnapped the president and took him back to the United States and tried him of crimes. Which, that's a thing we can do now, apparently.
Apparently that's okay now.
Yeah, there you go.
Up, man.
It's very fucked up. Like, whether he's guilty of crimes or not, like, that's just an insane thing to be able to do. Just go steal another president from another country. Like, that's what in the World War II was happening. Talked about Mark Hamill.
W is wondering, like, man, I had to do a lot to do that.
He's like, God damn, I had to really work hard to be a quasi dictator. This man's making me look like a simple man.
W walked, so this one could run. So
fucking A, right? Yeah. Fucking A.
Yeah, anytime anyone's like, the education problems, what's wrong with it? I'm like, well, you could start with George Bush. And just go backwards from there a little bit, but he's a big problem with it. Yeah. Go back to the movie. We talked about Mark Hamill. Here is the rest of the cast, and then we'll get a little bit more background to the movie. We got Bob Peck, who, if you're not familiar with him, he is the clever girl from Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's where I'd seen him before.
yeah.
He was Muldoon. Okay.
He was Muldoon. Yeah. This would be one of the last things I believe that he was really in. He actually, unfortunately, a lot of the cast of this is dead. Like a lot of them are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Peck is dead. He's no longer with us. Mark Hamill's still alive. We just talked about him. Love me some Mark Hamill. If you have not seen The Long Walk, that movie is it's not a post-apocalyptic movie, but it's definitely like a dystopian alternate universe 1970s. Stephen King, I believe, wrote the story. And it is basically like these boys have to walk and until there's only like one living man surviving. They just walk until they can't walk anymore, and if they stop walking, they're shot and executed. And it is a fucked up little movie, but I rather enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, check it out. That one is really, really good. I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere yet or not, but it's a good watch. Next up is a man we've talked about a couple times before, Bill Paxton.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Bill.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Another one person who's gone. Yeah. Anytime you're watching an 80s movie and Bill Paxton is in it, it's a good sign. Because
absolutely right.
He's in so many good movies in the 80s.
Oh.
Completed the monster movie trifecta with Terminator, Predator, and Aliens, all of you showing up in all of those franchises. Just clicking all the dots. Also, most recently, I guess was kind of with the people kind of noticing that when they like did a sequel to Twister. Obviously, he wasn't in it since he had already passed, but that people kind of reevaluating him a little bit more since Twister kind of got bigger with the sequel.
Yeah.
I never saw the sequel, so I can't.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I like the first Twister. I don't really need to go see it again. It wasn't like a franchise that I was like, oh, we need to do more of these.
Yeah, no.
Speaking of franchises, so like this morning I woke up and, having to get ready to go back to work on Monday to go back to being a teacher. So I got to get my body used to waking up at 6 a.m. again instead of sleeping until like 10 in the morning. So I set my alarm for 6 a.m. today, and I'm just sitting there doing nothing. And so I ended up falling down a rabbit hole of like how many Mummy movies there are and how many Scorpion King movies there are. It's just like, there are like 5 or 6 Scorpion King movies, which is 4 to 5 too many.
That is 4 more than I thought there were.
Yeah, right?
There are a lot of Scorpion King movies, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Next up on the cast is Kitty Aldridge, who would quit acting completely in 1999, but she would also be in Room with a View. Here is Mark Hamill's right-hand assistant, who would ends up being the weird love interest by the end of it. That I didn't buy that for a second.
No.
Yeah,
that part was kind of forced. Where I was like, at the end of it, I remember just being like, that was kind of silly.
Dude, those drawings he made in the dirt with a stick. I mean, they were something. I'm not saying I would have fucked him, but
you would have opened the balloon.
Really good dirt stick drawings is all I'm saying.
you would have opened a balloon company with them.
Yeah.
Oh God. Then we get some cameos, like odd cameos. Robbie Coltrane shows up in just a second. He's fucking Hagrid himself. He was also in GoldenEye. There you go.
And Kroll.
Yep. Ben Kingsley randomly shows up for a second.
Yeah, like what? How?
I don't know why.
How did they get that guy?
I don't know why Ben
Sir
Kingsley's
Ben.
in this, but Gandhi himself shows up. The villain in the maybe the worst Iron Man movie, Iron Man 3. Yeah, that was not very good. F. Murray Abraham also randomly is here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've actually, oddly enough, Kitty Aldridge, I mentioned her earlier. She was actually married to the guitar player and singer for the Dire Straits. Just realized that as MTV is now officially off the air. So we talked about that a couple episodes ago, that they were about to go off the air. They are now.
I mean, I'd like to call it the end of an era, but that era done been over.
Oh God, it had just been like episodes of ridiculousness for like the last 10 years.
The only show I have to watch on mute. Like,
yep.
I just don't watch it at all.
No, that's even better.
Yeah, no, it's if ever a once great thing was ready and deserving and just begging for the coup de grace, It was MTV.
Yeah.
I'm good. Goodbye. Good night, sweet prince. You had your day, and it was like when I was basically a teenager.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yep.
So we talked about the movie being more violent, and also about the writer completely removing his name from it and wanting no credit at all, which led to the movie having a little bit of trouble getting a distribution, and eventually it found release. It would only be released theatrically in 2 countries, Australia and the United Kingdom, where it would make a total of $66,000 against a budget of about $15 million.
Good Lord. Oh, man,
So
that hurt me.
Tremendous bust. Yes. A tremendous bust. God, yeah. And it would never be released theatrically in the United States. It did come out on VHS in the United States, where it did make some money because of Mark Hamill being featured prominently on the cover of it. And if you actually want a fun time, look up DVD covers of this movie, and they are insane. Some of them, because of all the weird cameos that of people who would later go on to be like more famous, they just like clip art them from different movies. So you get like Bill Paxton from Titanic, Mark Hamill from Star Wars. It's like very clearly their faces lifted from other things. Because this movie would be bundled with a lot of like those like 10 for 1 DVDs of like sci-fi movies. This would be on a lot of those. It would be packaged with a lot of like shitty sci-fi movies. And that was the way, for the most part, you could find it in the United States for a really long time. Still to this day, never been released on Blu-ray. Only way to watch it is to either own it on VHS, own it on DVD, or have access to the internet with YouTube. And you can find a really good copy on YouTube. A 4K copy, which, I mean, shit, just put that on Blu-ray. There you go, done.
So, in your research, did you hear why they didn't release it in the United States?
I believe because of how badly it did in Australia and the United Kingdom.
Oh,
so
shit.
Like once it came out, they just saw like, okay, this is a bust. Never mind. We're not going to invest the money it would take to market it in the United States. Just fuck it. Like, let it go. And that's basically what they did. Like it was kind of sent out to die. In fact, even to this day, like there are 7 critics that have reviewed this on Rotten Tomatoes ever. Ever. Like it is not a very highly reviewed movie. It's almost like a cult movie that has no cult. There's just like it has like all the ingredients of a cult movie, where you have like actors who would go on to be huge, doing somewhat campy performances at time, this interesting weird sci-fi setting. Like you have all these ingredients you need, but there's just not a lot of people talking about this movie, probably because it never came out in America. So there's no one that's like, there's no kids that grew up in the 80s that are like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that movie in theaters. Like if you picked it up on VHS because you saw Mark Hamill was in it, maybe that's how you saw it. Otherwise, you probably never even knew it existed, unless you just went back through Mark Hamill and Bill Paxton's filmographies looking for early films that they were in, and saw that they were in another sci-fi movie, and then a randomly one together that you never thought of before.
Man, look, you just said something that really got my gears turning. Because you're absolutely right. This is a cult movie with no cult. This is an opportunity for us to get in on the ground floor of a new cult. Fucking finally.
Slipstream.
Yes.
Hello. I'm Orson Welles. I direct films and act in them. What we're always trying for, of course, is perfection. In a film, that's only a hope. But with
Final Picture Show podcast,
you can rely on it. Perfection.
Just blowing acolytes into the sunset. That's what cults are for, right?
That is what cults are for. That is what cults are for. Another fun fact about this movie that I found in doing the research. So John Williams did not have anything to do with this, but in a way he kind of did, because they used his he's a composer, obviously. His orchestra that he composes whenever he's doing his soundtracks for movies.
Yeah,
they use that orchestra to do the soundtrack for this movie.
Oh.
So it's the same exact group of people that would do Star Wars with John Williams, but John Williams isn't leading them. Different composer, same group of people though. And then it would also mix in a couple other songs. So there was a one of the bands that has like I forget the name of it. It's a group I've never heard of. Apparently they were popular in Ireland. But there's like the one rock song they play at the bar at one point, you know, talking about like when they had the cantina scene. Yeah. So that song would actually have a music video that would come out in overseas on MTV. And oddly and weirdly enough, it features no clips from this movie, which was very normal at the time for that, just to be kind of like how music videos were made. There was that Terminus movie music video we talked about forever ago, where like that's the music video is just clips of the movie set to the song. That's your music video. That was like an early 80s music video. But no, it's just the band playing at a show, and they don't mention this movie at all. But this song is from this movie. It's featured prominently in the movie. But yeah, the band mentions the movie not a single bit outside of that one little thing there. Speaking of music, let's get to the Travis trivia as we always do. This is where we talk about when the movie came out, what songs were popular on that specific day. This is an interesting list here. This movie came out on February 10th, 1989 in Australia and in the United Kingdom. This is a weird time to put a movie out, February, but hey.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Sci-fi movie in February. The songs that were popular, Bobby Brown's My Prerogative.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Doing glorious amounts of cocaine.
Yeah.
Speaking of cocaine, the other big song was Straight Up by Paula Abdul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There you go. It's a classic one. And then a band that I remember, I remember like when I was a kid, when I was first getting into music, you know, this is pre-internet, you know, it existed, but it was just mostly chat rooms on AOL and stuff. And nobody was talking about this next band here. But I remember I looked them up and I bought one of their CDs at Sam Goody in the mall. They had a used section. And they had like Sam Goody had like $2 CDs. I kept seeing this band every single time, and I'd be like, "Oh, maybe they're a punk band I've never heard of." They are not. The band was Mike and the Mechanics. Yeah, and the song was "The Living Years." Yeah, not a bad song necessarily, but not the band. When I first put that CD in, when I bought it, I was like, "Oh, this is not at all what I was thinking this was going to be." Like,
yeah, it sounds like it'd be a hard band, right?
You'd think like I'm like, "Ooh, Mike and the Mechanics, like that's kind of okay, like it's a little punk band." No, not at all. And the biggest song
you needed was a miracle.
The biggest song overseas, where this movie came out at, was "Belfast Child" by Simple Minds.
Oh,
which is a song
I'm unfamiliar with that one.
I do not know that song, which people overseas might be screaming at us now because they're like, "Yeah, do you know?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I've never heard that song before. Heard of the group, not familiar with that song." Well, we have reached the middle section of the show where we're going to take a little break and then come back and talk about the plot of Slipstream. So we're going to see you guys in just a second.
Let's knock this thing out.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. So the movie starts with two things. One, you get a visual callback to North by Northwest with some Hitchcock. And I do like the way the movie's filmed. Like the way the shots, especially the flying shots, are really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of very practical stuff. You can tell when they use models, but the models also look good. Like it's good model work. It's never anything where it's like, this looks like crap. It's all really cool stuff.
I don't think I had a moment in this movie where I was like, okay. No, I was always just like, nice.
For a sci-fi movie from the 80s, it doesn't have like a whole, it's almost all, I think it's all practical. Like, I don't think there's a whole lot of CGI here at all. Like everything, like the ships that they use, even as futuristic as they look, they're all real things that exist. Even in 1989, they existed. And so like even Mark Hamill's weird looking like bounty hunter copter that he uses, that actually exists in the world. That is a living, breathing thing that exists. Same thing with Bill Paxton's flying ship that he uses. That also is a thing that exists. So it's kind of cool that they how they do the setting. The other thing is that we start with narration, and I don't know about how do you guys. I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about movies that use generic sci-fi terms? Here we get the convergence.
You know, I mean, I don't love it, but I also fully understand that.
You got to call it something.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And, you know.
The Great Awakening. I like it when they use that one, too.
Yeah. One of these days, I just want to make a story in The Event, you know.
The Event. That's been done as well.
Oh, man.
And they took The Happening, too.
Yeah. Just about everything's been done, yeah. So here we have the convergence. So our post-apocalyptic scenario is basically like the continents have all gotten fucky. And now, like, basically everything's been redistributed around the world. And there's this, all this is told to us in narration, which I hate voiceover narration in movies. But in this movie, I feel like if you didn't have it, you would be like,
what's the big deal?
You would be completely lost as to what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, you'd be like, it just seems like it's always a nice breezy day outside. It really looks very pleasant, you know?
Yeah.
You need a jacket and you're good.
Yeah. It's a bit nippy. Put on a coat, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one thing, is that, like, I was never really clear why the Slipstream was so bad. It didn't seem to get in the way of much of anything. Like, you're flying your, like, little tiny planes through it, and, you know, it doesn't appear to be, like, that stormy. It's just fucking windy. But that was one thing the movie could have done better.
Yeah, they could have, like, made that more of a threat. Like, they position it as, like, oh, man, if you get lost in the Slipstream, then it's lights out for you. But, like, Bill Paxton gets lost in it, and Mark Hamill finds him in, like, 10 minutes. Like, so I'm like, okay, well, fucking apparently anybody can get lost in this thing and get out of it, because all of you make it out. Like, so, yeah, the movie is a little bit silly with that, with the Slipstream. So there's the Slipstream, as is the name of the movie. And
the titular Slipstream, if you will.
Slipstream, yes. And this is I don't even know the term for it. It's almost like I'm trying to remember the term from literature, where it's like it does everything. Basically, if you have any questions about this movie, it's the Slipstream. It's almost like what Frank Herbert did with Dune, where it's just like, yeah, it's the fucking spice. Just blame everything on that. Like, you got any questions? There you go. Just point to that. Like, it's like, it's a utility for travel. This is how they get around. It's also like a threat to them. It's also like a sign of, like, the convergence happened because this is like an after effect of the convergence. So it's like everything kind of goes back to this Slipstream, which honestly, like we said, is not the most, like, explained thing in the movie. Of all the things that the movie explains, which it gets into details about a lot of things, it doesn't really go into that too much, which, hey, you know, leave something to the mystery, something for the sequel that never happened. That's how we further advance the cult of Slipstream. We write Slipstream 2. Slippier stream. I don't know what the subtitle is.
Slippery wind stream. Oh yeah.
Mark Hamill will come back. He's not doing anything.
Right?
So yeah, after we learn about the Slipstream, we get introduced to the character of the guy running, who for a while we just think is like, his name is like Suit. He ends up being, spoiler alert, he's Bob Peck here. He's an android. And the movie kind of dances around this for the first, like, 20-30 minutes, where you're not, like, you get hints that, like, oh, he acts differently than everybody else. He's a little bit weird. He's a little, and then eventually you're like, he's probably if you've ever seen a sci-fi movie before, you're like, he's a fucking robot or an android or something to that effect. So yes, that is, which is kind of funny.
That punch was very, very telegraphed.
Yes, which is funny because last week we talked about Cherry 2000, which is another movie about two people going to try to find an android. We just keep talking about androids this month. It's a weird thing. We didn't even plan on it. There you go. Android January. Nice. So, yeah, Mark Hamill is this lawman / bounty hunter. You could easily replace him as, like, any generic Western you could think of, pretty much. Which is not unlike a lot of post-apocalyptic movies that we've talked about, which a lot of them are Westerns in disguise. Just literally take the story, replace it with, instead of a sci-fi setting with horses and cowboys, and you don't have to change anything else. Kind of similar here. You could take this movie, replace all of the sci-fi stuff, and just put it in a Western setting replace the Slipstream with like a dust bowl or like a big tornado or like something like, and then there you have the same fucking movie.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So he's like a bounty hunter / lawman which we see that he's the law, but we don't really have much respect for the law in this movie, which so I don't really know if that really means much in the world that we live in, that this movie lives in.
This is so not the important thing, but it's like, I had a lot of jurisdictional questions when he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm law enforcement. I'm a badge." I was like, "For who? Where? Why are you doing that here?"
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could have left out him being a lawman and just made him a bounty hunter, because that seems to be like his whole motivation is he's after this android because he's worth money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just make him a fucking bounty hunter. Like, you don't need to make Boba Fett like a fucking police officer as well. Like, that would have been silly. Like, he's like whips out a badge. Like, hold on, I'm Officer Fett. Like, you don't need
Star
that
Wars reference. Yeah. How are you pulling that out? Anyway,
so
far removed.
This is so far removed from Star Wars. Hey, Mark Hamill dyed his hair for this movie. Way different than Star Wars. For Star Wars, he got in a motorcycle car crash.
Oh, that's right.
Very different things. Yeah, he is blonde in this whole movie, which is bizarre at first, but honestly, it kind of suits him. I like it.
Yeah, it worked.
I like blonde-haired, intimidating Mark Hamill from the 80s.
You know,
that's a nice look for him.
Absolutely, it was. I was like, okay, I'm getting like Tom Cruise in that fucking movie where he's a hired killer.
Collateral.
Collateral.
Yeah, in Collateral. Yeah, it was working.
Yeah, it's a good look. I like it. When I was in hig school, when I was like during my punk phase, I wanted to bleach blonde dye my hair because that was like a thing. You know, and I never did it, but there was a time period where I really, really thought about just like taking bleach and just dyeing my hair, but I never, because everyone told me if I did it, my hair might fall out, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to worry about that.
If you just put straight bleach on your hair, it would have.
So I was like, well, shit, I feel like that's a little bit more than I'm prepared to deal with now. So let's step away from the bleach bottle. But I thought about it. So yeah, Mark Hamill is the law, and we get introduced to Bill Paxton, who comes into the movie in an interesting way. So remember, this movie originally, this was supposed to be like Huck Finn, like a young character. And how is he introduced in this film? Sexually assaulting a woman.
Yep.
That's the first thing he does. He's supposed to be like our protagonist. Like he's our entry point into the film. Like he's the person we're supposed to sympathize with. And man, he makes it hard at first. Now you kind of grow to love him, but
and also, Matt, I hate to quibble with you, but sexual harassment is technically the first, I think, two things he does.
Oh yeah.
First, there's the woman in the kitchen, and then there's Miss Aldrich, immediately outside the kitchen. You know,
he goes from one sexual assault to another.
Exactly, consecutive.
Yes, but he's a good character. We love him. This is Bill Paxton.
He's just a rascal,
just a little rascal, who is also kind of like another bounty hunter. In this totally not the cantina scene that we start the movie in, basically. Right after Mark Hamill arrests or / captures the android, we cut to this cantina scene where all these characters are being introduced, and it's literally straight. Like, it's not as sci-fi. There's not like robots and aliens around like Star Wars, but in terms of like a collection of like unsightly characters, bounty hunters and stuff, all enjoying a cocktail or coffee together in the morning. That's kind of what this is, which honestly, whenever I was like a kid, I thought I would find myself in a lot more bars full of unsightly characters, and that rarely happens. Just not a thing that happens as much as my life. Usually when I go to a bar, Colin's there, and it's usually like one or two other people in the bar. It's not just a rogues gallery of bounty hunters. Or maybe it is, and shit, everyone's just quiet about it, and I'm the only one who just doesn't know.
No. I've got the same read as you are. We go to pretty lame bars, at least by sci-fi movie standards.
Yes, sci-fi movie standards. We need more. Somewhere between Space Truckers and Star Wars is this sci-fi bar, where it's a little bit more than that, but a little bit less than the other. Yeah. So Bill Paxton overhears after being introduced to Mark Hamill's character, who shows him that he is the law after he tries to buy some shit from him that is clearly illegal. He kind of learns that that guy that's with Mark Hamill, that other guy, he's worth a lot of money. If he killed another guy, he's guilty of murder, which leads Bill Paxton to trying to capture him as Solo, which I thought was a little ballsy, honestly. I didn't think that Bill Paxton was kind of like, so far of what we've known about him, I wouldn't assume he would be like, oh, I'm going to try to pull a gun on this guy and just kidnap his captain and take it for my own bounty. But that's what he does shortly after, which doesn't go very well, because we also find out that as Colin was saying, the other woman he sexually assaulted happens to also be in a bigger role in this movie, as she is Mark Hamill's, I guess, second in command, second in charge. They have a weird relationship.
They do. They do.
I thought she was like a hired gun or something.
That's what I thought. Like, she's like a hired gun, because they mentioned that like she doesn't seem like she wants to be there with him, but she also praises him at times.
Yeah,
it says
he's the toughest man I ever knew.
He's the toughest man I ever knew. Yeah. So that's confusing. And then her whole character is very confusing, especially by the end of it, because spoiler alert, she ends up, in spite of the sexual assault greeting, somehow turning into liking Bill Paxton's character. The movie ends with them like as a couple building a balloon company together. And all of that is exactly what I said. I didn't mess up that phrasing there. No, they literally, that's a balloon. It's a part of the movie we'll get to. Maybe an unnecessary part of the movie, but hey, I feel like the producer had access to some kick-ass balloons, because they are some cool-ass balloons. Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, we got to film these cool-ass balloons and put them in a movie." And they were like, "Okay, well, I guess this one, why not?" More sci-fi movies need balloons. That's what we learned here.
Yep.
More sci-fi movies need balloons. Yeah. So Bill Paxton takes Bob Peck's character for his own prisoner. And then he gets shot with a poison dart, which honestly I thought was going to be more of it's more fast acting, but it takes like days.
Yeah.
What a weird.
Hey, you know what? I had a question about that.
Yeah.
Was it really poison, or was it just like tracking stuff? Because I know it was definitely tracking stuff, but I was never sure if it was also poison or they were just fucking with it.
I don't know. The entire movie, I was like, I don't know. Because at some point, I just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
Until like she shows back up, and then she shoots him again with like the antidote, or something happens. I forget how the fucking end of it happens. But he gets the antidote, or somehow she shoots him with the antidote. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot he was poisoned. Because he like brings it up a little bit, and then he kind of like the movie moves on to other things.
Mm-hmm.
I just completely forgot about him even being poisoned. But yeah, he is poisoned through most of the movie, which, yeah, I thought was going to be more of a thing. Kind of could have been a bigger deal, but
yeah, like kind of like Escape from New York or Escape from LA, like how they handled that.
Like give him like he has so many hours to live, or like he has to get this guy to the rendezvous point in so many time, or something. Something. I don't know.
It just felt very thrown away.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of throwing away, the movie does kind of move to expanding the world as they get into the aerial scenes where he gets into Bill Paxton is now flying, because that's how everyone travels in this movie. There is no like driving of cars like Mad Max when people travel. Here they fly instead of driving, but it does make for some cool aerial shots. I will say that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
So they get to this new place called Hell's Kitchen, which I guess is where Bill Paxton said he's from. This is where he goes to like pick up some supplies and shit. And there's an indoor pool, and this is where Hagrid himself is hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
The only scene he's in the movie. Just shows up, has a couple lines, and then he's done. That's it. Yep. That's it. There you go. Nice little cameo there. There you go.
I was going to say the very definition of a cameo. Like,
yeah, it basically is for them to like mock him as he's like talking about how I'm going to turn this guy in and get all this money, and then y'all are going to not be laughing at me anymore. I'm not a fuck up. And then as he's saying this, the Bob Peck's character, the android, has wandered off. And we should say that the entire time he's like not the entire movie, but most of the movie, he's dressed in like a suit, and he's very formally British.
Yes,
and speaks very properly. It's a fun performance, honestly.
It is. I thought I was very happy with pretty much all aspects of that. We've already passed it by, but I'll backtrack a little bit. Did y'all notice there was a, to me, extremely glaring film flub in the cantina scene? Did you notice it?
Ooh,
okay. Tell me.
Okay, so Bob Peck, the android, he gets captured, pulled off a cliff, lands in the mud.
Okay.
Then it cuts to him in the cantina. Suit is spotless. Then, when they're leaving the cantina, the suit's all fucked up again. And I was just like, okay, come on. That when you see something like that, you're like, come on, guys. That's what I mean by unforced error.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. And now that you mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that is an issue there with how the suit does completely change. That would be an easy. I mean, that's literally someone's job on a set is to keep track of that and to be like, okay, wait a minute, his suit needs to be fucked up. Then, like, we're in that part of the film. Yeah, this is why most movies, like I said, like we've talked about before, they should just shoot in sequence, just film it in order, and then you don't have these problems. But hey,
exactly.
There you go. So while this is happening, Mark Hamill's character and his partner are in the woods because they don't have their ship anymore and he's killing some hillbillies that show up. This part was kind of unnecessary. It could have been cool if there was a little bit more violence in the movie because it kind of sets up that like Mark Hamill is like pissed and not to be fucked with. He's willing to kill a man, but like it's just kind of unnecessary, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, this could be a failing on my part, not paying close enough attention. But I wasn't sure why he was fucking with those people. Like, he put trackers in Dude Boy's blood.
Yeah.
So he knows how to find him. So why is he wasting time killing these people?
Yeah, this is kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. It was there because we're like, okay, we're not sure if we've fully established what a bad dude Mark Hamill is. So let's just have him kill some people. And, whatever. That's cool. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of unnecessary. It's just like in there just to either that or it was in there as like a writing device just to remind us that Mark Hamill is here in this movie. It's like, okay, maybe do it in a different way. Like just have him like, because shortly afterwards he gets into his ship. They get back into their ship, and now they're taking off, and they're like talking about like, oh, how many stones people need to be buried under, and this and that. Like, just that would have been fine. Just put that here. Like you don't need the part where he's just killing hillbillies in the woods. But hey, there you go.
Yeah.
We cut back to Bill Paxton skeeving on a girl while he is flying, which was he was waiting for her to see some nudity there. It does not. He does say one of my favorite lines here. He says, "I bet you're the kind of guy who gets out of the shower to take a piss." I don't know what that means, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a thing to say to someone.
It's a hell of a thing to say to someone. And Bill Paxton has a couple of these things here.
Yeah.
He just says things where I'm like, is that scripted or is that just Bill Paxton making that up? I honestly can't tell. I do really like Bill Paxton in this movie. He is...
same.
He does take this performance. He does make it like this character that he's playing is kind of a sleazeball, but he doesn't make him a horrible person, which he very easily could be with someone else doing this job. So
yeah, I don't think anybody.
I do like that.
This level of charm to this character, it would have been tough.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The next big thing that happens is we get to the wind cultists. And this is where I kind of got lost in this movie a little bit, where I just kind of was like, I'm watching it, but I'm struggling to figure out what the fuck this has to do with anything other than just like more world building. The one thing I will say about this movie is it's like way too long. You could easily edit some of this down. We don't need a lot of this here. Like you could make this a solid like 80, 90 minute little sci-fi adventure. Perfect. As it is like almost an hour and 40 minutes. There's like 15 minutes extra that we don't need here. And some of this involving the wind cultist, I would just get rid of.
Absolutely right.
Oh yeah, totally.
But eventually, this ends up with a couple of things: Mark catching back up with Bill Paxton's character, and also the android being strung up into the air because he's an affront to the wind gods, because he represents, I guess, like technology, because he's an android, and so you can't have that. And so they hang him up for the wind gods to be the judge of, which he seems rather indifferent to, honestly.
Yeah, no, he's like, okay, we're doing this now. He was indifferent to being strung up into a giant kite.
Yeah.
He was kind of indifferent to being rescued. I mean, I guess that's the good thing about being a robot.
I had an issue with the wind cultists and their whole theology here, because, like, yes, the android represents technology, but so do glasses. So do, like, a lot of things represent tech. Like, where do you draw the line, you cultists? Like, at what point is too much technology? Because, like, at some point, like, I think you need to realize that your ethos might be a little too dogmatic here. Because, like, they have, like, fire and tools and stuff, and I'm like, how is that not techno? Okay, whatever. I could just argue with these cultists, but they don't exist. So eventually Mark, like I said, he shows up, and they have to go try to get to the android that's strung up in the kite. This scene was interesting. It was filmed kind of uniquely. I couldn't tell what the fuck was going on for part of it, but I was just like, okay, this is... So basically, they force Bill Paxton's character to fly up there via balloon and gravity and a rope. And he's supposed to get up there while Mark Hamill is watching him and his assistant. But they're not watching him too carefully, because he gets up there and his whole deal is like, I'm going to set us free and we're going to just, I guess, get out of here. And then that gets caught because she goes up there to check on him. And then now all three of them are up there. And then Mark Hamill is just watching them with a sniper rifle. And then there's this big windstorm. And then, like, it's a lot of and then it's a very complicated scene, unnecessarily so, to the point where it's like describing it in words. I'm just like, I don't know. A lot of shit is happening here. Of all the parts of the movie, this is the part where I was like, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Which eventually leads to them, like, making a new friend after they crash.
Ariel,
yeah. This part is also a little padded out, but it gets us to another group of cultists. Very Boy and His Doggy, where we just keep going from here's one group, here's another group, here's another group, here's another group. Like, well, here's this group. And this is where Ben Kingsley shows up finally. And these guys, like, they seem to worship history because they have, like, a whole museum.
Yeah.
They also aren't so keen on the whole android thing. They're not so hot on that. Yeah. It reminds me of, like, modern, or like how modern things are with AI, where, it's like, oh, AI made this. Oh, I don't want anything to do with it. Get away from me, you fucking AI artwork bullshit. It's like, I wonder if that same staunch hatred of it is going to be, like, I wonder how that's going to be in, like, 5 years from now, like, as a society. Because, like, we're so weird as a society now. Because, like, we don't have, like, monoculture anymore. Like we've talked about before. Like, there's not, like, one thing that, like, everyone kind of knows and thinks of. It's like everyone has, like, their own little groups and things now. So it's like someone's keeping AI alive. Like, I don't know who keeps using it so much, but someone's doing it. Yeah.
People on Facebook.
What is that?
I said people on Facebook.
Oh yeah, my mom sent me a bunch of stuff over Christmas on Facebook. It was cringy. It was very cringy. It was very, very cringy. It reminded me of is the level of quality of, you remember those, like, I forgot, so many years ago, used to be like the little jingle things where your mom or dad would send you, like,
jib jabs.
Like jib jabs, or it'd be like a bunch of your family members dancing and something. Yeah, that's about what AI looks like nowadays. That's what it reminds me of, that, where I'm just like, this is weird. Very, very odd. Yeah, so we go to the museum, and I love that Bill Paxton is just perving on all the statues. Like he walks in and he's just like, "Wow, nice tits!" Like,
yep. Also picking up random bottles and just drinking out of them.
Yes. You can
living
see
his best dirtbag life.
You could totally see him being like a 15, 16-year-old dirtbag, like post-apocalyptic Huck Finn kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
it makes sense. I kind of get where they were going with this. It sucks that like they had to kind of tame it way down, and then it just struggled to find any kind of audience overseas, and then was never even given a chance to find an audience here. But I get where they were going for. Like it's kind of of all the ideas of all the post-apocalyptic movies we've watched, we're going on almost 90 now.
Oh man!
Of all of them, it has like it's not a horrible idea.
No.
It's okay. It's fine.
I mean, like
take Huck Finn. Like I get the idea. Take an old classic novel that most people have read or understand the premise of. Put the setting, change the setting to a post-apocalyptic setting. Okay, cool. Hey, cool. That'll work. I feel like it could work with Huck Finn. Maybe not every classic novel. Maybe not like a post-apocalyptic Jane Eyre. Maybe,
probably not.
Maybe that would struggle.
Okay. You know what? Challenge accepted. Give me a few years to work. I'll get back to you.
Yeah. So we get this council, which is kind of interesting. And the council of this little settlement has a little meeting amongst them in which they are basically arguing whether they should allow these people to stay or not. And they're kind of here under false pretenses because they don't know, or at least Bill Paxton and the android do not know, that at least initially they're not allowed to leave this place. Although the android doesn't seem to want to. He seems to have fallen in love.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which is an interesting twist that they add in this movie, which you don't see coming. Mm-hmm. Which I kind of like. I like the whole I like all the Philip K. Dick references. Do Android's dream? Yeah, he's having a dream. He fell asleep. Like he closes his eyes finally. Like I thought all of that was cool. I really like the whole little thing. I don't like the way it ends, but. Okay. Yeah. I think if you would have cut off a little bit of the movie and focused a little bit more on that relationship that you get here, I think it would have been a little bit better. But heck, it's cool the way it is. He falls in love. He falls in love with Ariel here. And so he seems to fancy himself an android in love. So he's not really interested in leaving this settlement. He thinks he can stay here and actually help these people. And he starts doing that by trying to fix their AC system, which apparently hasn't been working, which that just sounds awful.
Yeah, totally.
That just sounds terrible. Like I've said, hopefully the apocalypse never happens, but if it does, I don't want to live through it. I'm good dying. I don't want to see what humanity is like on the other side. We're horrible enough to each other now. My God.
Good Lord.
It would be horrible. I do
all
not
that
want to have
and
to deal with
probably
that.
no AC.
Probably no AC. Yes, there would be no AC. There would be none at all. Hopefully, you know how to make an at-home swamp cooler. So
I kind of do.
Yeah, they're not
on them before down here.
Yeah. I was gonna say most people who have lived in Texas, where it gets to like 110 sometimes and 111 for days on end.
Depending on the level of humidity, because you go more east, you're not going to see a single one. But
no, it's too humid out there for that. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Good dry heat. You can use a good swamp cooler though.
Oh, yeah.
So while the settlement is meeting, Mark Hamill shows up once again, and now he is here to wreak havoc because they just start killing everybody. Or at least we see this off screen. We cut to them and just bodies everywhere, but they've already done all the deeds as opposed to us seeing any of this happen, which is kind of like fine, but kind of weird, kind of like an odd choice for a movie like this. Like we've already been skeevy enough, like, why not just add a little violence onto it, make it like a full R movie, but hey. So Tasker, that's Mark Hamill's character, he is still alive. Somehow he lived through that storm, and he's just killing people off screen. And this leads to his second in command revealing that she kind of has the hots for Bill Paxton's character, which is like, this is where I just kind of was like, okay, what? That doesn't make
where did this come from?
Yeah. Like they've kind of had like a flirtatious thing, like an on again off again thing, but it was never to the point where I'm like, oh, I see her realizing that he's like this creepy, skeevy slum kid who like is not. The options may be very, very limited. Then that's the only thing I can think of. Like, I have no idea why she chooses him to be like.
What are you going to do?
Love interest.
I was joking earlier, but like, go back and watch the scene. It's the stick drawings. That's the moment where she's like, "Oh, I see you in a different light now," and you're like, "Really?
Well,
it's kind of hot." I mean,
what's the other options though? Like a wind cultist? I don't think so.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I thought they could have flipped it and she could have revealed that like she also was an android.
Oh.
That maybe would have been a thing at the end because Bill Paxton has no issue working with this android. Like of all the people they meet, like several of the cultists are all like, I hate androids. And Bill Paxton's just like, yeah, you're an android. Whatever. You're my friend. Like, I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
I thought at the end they could have like flipped it and made her like, reveal like, oh, I'm on. That's where I thought it was going. I thought it was going to be like she was like Mark Hamill had captured her and was like forcing her to work for him, and she was an android, and that's like why they were after this kind of thing. I'm making it more like Blade Runner than it needs to be.
I was about to say, at some point, someone's going to ask why you didn't flip the turtle over. Like,
yeah.
This movie borrows a lot from Blade Runner.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I mean, if you're going to borrow from a movie, why not?
Right?
You guys borrow from one of the best movies fucking ever made. I finally showed
more connections.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that I've been married to Miranda now for almost 6 years, and I finally showed her Blade Runner this Christmas. She'd never ever seen it before.
Oh,
now, I showed her the final cut. So there's several different versions of Blade Runner for those listening. If you're not familiar, there's like 5 different versions of the film. But she liked it. She thought it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
She thought it was a little long, but she thought it was she really liked the beginning. The first like 30 minutes, she was really into it, and then a little bit more on her phone after that. It was a good 30, 40 minutes. It got a thumbs up.
World.
It got a thumbs up. So, this leads to a shootout, which leads to more deaths, including the death of Ariel. It also leads to the android getting shot. Fucking a lot of people get shot. It's like a weird. It's like a very Western shootout scene that they have. I kind of like that part. Is kind of where we get some of that. Like that's like the only big violent scene of the entire movie, where you actually see like shooting and things like that. Yeah.
Yep. Also, I was going to say, this is kind of the scene that reveals that, the android is more or less indestructible, but actually that gets illustrated better later.
Yeah.
So, I'll hold that comment till that point. But, yeah, but it also, I think that, like, there's this really, like, blink and you miss it story about like the android discovering the part of him that's human, and like he's killed before. That's the whole thing. He's on the run because he killed his master.
Yeah.
But it was a mercy killing.
Yeah.
And after he sees Ariel get got, he's like, oh, now I want to kill someone because I want to fucking kill them. And I thought that was pretty well executed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the ending of it is really like that part specifically is really, really strong. Like him seeing Ariel die and him having like a as close to a human emotion as an android could have, where he now has gone from feeling like sadness to anger at the loss of someone. Like, she is not like me. There is no coming back from this. Like this, she is gone forever.
Yeah.
And that the fact that happened because of you makes me like want to take your life, which I thought, like you said, was really, really well done. I really liked that. I really liked, like we talked about at the beginning, I really liked a lot of this movie. There are some parts of it that I thought were a little unnecessary, a little too long. But like the end of the movie, I really wished like we would have ended it like shortly thereafter. It goes on a little bit longer, where we get Mark Hamill's character and Byron. That's the name of the android. Which the entire movie, not the entire movie, but every time he interacts with Mark Hamill's character, they seem to like quote poetry to each other, which is kind of like a weird choice that they do in the movie, which they don't really. They kind of explain why, like his master, he says like, had all these books, and so I just read all these books, and that kind of explains why he's quoting lines poetry to him. But I do think it's cool, like that android would choose the name Byron. I thought that was kind of cute,
Yeah,
and there's a little English majory thing there for you, Lord Byron fans out there. So he gets into Mark Hamill's jet in a very odd way, which is a little weird. But it basically gets ran the fuck over and sucked into the air system that's running the back of it. This really fucking cool jet. Like, I have no idea what model it is or anything like that. The documentary I was watching on YouTube, the behind the scenes of this movie, it gets into a lot of it. Is like 10 minutes of the documentary is invested into the planes, like the models of the planes, how the planes were designed, who designed the planes. Like it's like a Mad Max documentary about just these planes. And then also, there's a movie here as well. But like, let's talk about these cool ass planes. Which I wonder if it was financed by the people that made the planes. So they were just like, let's make a documentary about this movie, because I can't think of any other movies these like jets are in. Up there for like as for post-apocalyptic vehicles that we've talked about, probably one of the cooler ones.
Yeah, totally.
That Terminus van is still number one for me, though.
Oh no, that's
that
number
fucking
one.
Kick-ass van. Colin, have you ever seen Terminus, a post-apocalyptic French movie? Say that out loud.
Not.
Yeah. Well, first off,
okay, yeah,
maybe not worth watching, but there is a really cool van in it that has like a hell mouth that is terrifying. That it speaks to it.
Oh god. Now I will say it's worth watching.
If you're the van speaks jive.
Oh yeah. If you're a big fan of Jurgen Prochnow, great movie to watch. So
okay, fuck yeah. Hey, look, it's going on the list.
Nice.
Another cult movie that has no cult.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, okay, this is good. We need to collect all these, and our odds of getting to the like blow an acolyte stage improve if we can start multiple cults at once. So
that's true.
That's right. Yeah, you
gotta diversify your cults and bonds.
Exactly.
So Mark's jet eventually crashes, and we see that Byron walks away.
He's going to make it. We're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it. Yeah, that part was unnecessarily like weird. Like he gets in there with the idea of like, I'm gonna kill you, and then at some point you get the implication that like, oh, he's gonna try to help him not die, and then that ends up not happening as they just crash into the side of a mountain.
Yep.
And literally explode.
And then later on, he walks up to Bill Paxton looking like Daffy Duck after he smoked the dynamite cigar.
He does.
And
he does.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. I mean, he's turned black, but otherwise he's fine.
Yeah.
But
all of his nice suit is burnt, but otherwise he's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is kind of the close to the end of the movie, because Byron and Matt, that's Bill Paxton's character, who I've been avoiding saying his name because I didn't want to say my own name over and over and over again. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, Byron and Matt, they agree to go their separate ways. So as Matt is basically, he's him and Tasker's girl, the girl that he fell in love with, are going to go open up their own little mom and pop balloon shop. And so we end the movie with aerial shots of balloons, which look really cool.
Yeah.
And that is the end of the movie.
Yep.
So thoughts about Slipstream. Colin, go ahead. Final thoughts.
So I feel like, this movie bankrupted a number of people. It's a shame it didn't get wider American distribution, because it might have been a useful cautionary tale for the makers of Waterworld. It, and I do feel like this movie was missing Kevin Costner. Like, he should have been in here somewhere, And basically, it was a big fucking mess, but it swung big, which, it took a lot of chances, either because it meant to or because they were stupid. Either way, it amounted to the same thing. it was a weird aesthetic mix. But like things that they did well. Like I feel like the first third of the movie where you're sure that there's something weird about Byron, but you're not sure if he's dangerous. Should Matt trust him? Should Matt not? I thought that was well done because like I was like, this guy's weird. I don't know what he's all about. I could have easily seen him being the villain of the movie, you know. So I thought that was well done. Again, kind of a wild cast, like just Sir Ben Kingsley and F. Murray Abraham showing up, Robbie Coltrane, you know, just a ton of like people that, you know, either already had done or went on to do great things. I felt like one of the other just like kind of funny unforced errors. Okay, so there's the big party scene in the underground museum compound.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they've presumably been locked down here in a closed system for hundreds of years.
Been a while.
It's been a while. The AC isn't working anymore. They still have enough cold champagne to just fucking quaff it like crazy and like good food and everything like that. So, yeah, I don't that's one of those things that you're like, you know what? It was a conscious choice to not even fucking explain it, and that's fine. But then there's the thing where you realize that there's like cultural continuity from like our world to this post-apocalypse because of the things they're referencing. And at one point, and I just thought this was so fucking funny, the android's like, yes, I can dance like Fred Astaire. And then they very specifically do not do everything they can, like, to not show him do that, but to imply that he is doing it like right off screen. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, they thought they could teach this guy how to dance and they couldn't. So, okay, let's shoot him only from the waist up or only from the waist down or from behind. And, you know, that just fucking amused me for some reason. Yeah. Would we call this wind punk?
Ooh.
Yeah. The unique new genre, wind punk. Yes,
I'm into this.
I guess it's like an eco punk movie, like, because, you know, it's the environment.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's specifically movies involving the wind. Yeah, this is one of the only ones I can think of, honestly.
Well, yeah, because you got Waterworld is water, and then you've got this is wind. I mean, we're getting the four elements here eventually.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But, it's true. Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts, Colin?
I mean, I was really, you answered this question in your intro. It was so granular and some stuff was so weird.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if this is based on a book, but apparently it wasn't. But I'll tell you that if it was based on a book, I'd find that book and read it.
Yeah.
I feel like that is
Same.
probably the biggest endorsement I can give the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's all I got.
Yeah. Travis, what you got?
I would say I was kind of surprised how much I liked this movie. It took me a few tries because again, I started with the worst possible version of it, where like the audio and the video was terrible.
It's like a VHS rip. Yeah, those suck.
So then I came over to YouTube and I was like, oh, okay, now I can actually enjoy this. And once I started watching it, because when I was watching it on, you know, the really bad quality, I was like, oh, this is kind of awful. And then switching over to like good quality, I was like, I actually really am enjoying this. And and I'm kind of bummed out that this didn't really, you know, it was just never on my radar at all. I've never heard of it before you told me about it. And it's one of those things, like, you know, it deserves a cult. I think I genuinely think it deserves a cult following, because it's just, you know, if nothing else, for this star power alone. And just like,
absolutely,
what a weird microcosm where they all met in one movie, you know, like it's that alone deserves cult status. So I liked it a lot, and I was very entertained by it. It was a fun ride. kind of made me want to actually get in one of those planes. And I'm not a heights guy, so
the planes are cool. So
yeah.
I feel like the word for what this movie had is heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't super fucking well executed or anything else, but it had a lot of heart.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I was going to say, I really enjoyed this movie. It kind of piggybacking off of what both of you said. There's some really good things here. There's some things that aren't executed well, and the things that are executed well are none of them are like unique ideas. Like we said, it kind of rips off Blade Runner. It kind of rips off Star Wars. It kind of rips off a lot of movies that came before it.
Mad Max.
Mad Max. I've mentioned on the show before, I am fine with that. I don't necessarily hate derivative art. You can do it well. Like, I'm a person who, anytime I've written anything, I wear my influences on my fucking sleeves. Like, you can read anything I've ever written and be like, you clearly like this and this and that. I'm like, yeah.
Great artist steal, brother.
Yeah, exactly. It is what it is.
So
like
often.
So this movie steals from a lot of things, but I really like how it melds all these things together. And kind of like, Colin, what you were saying, if this was a book, I would read it. I really love all the little breadcrumbs that you get, that it kind of showed like there is this bigger world out there. Now, unfortunately, we never got to explore that, but I like that the cultists, like there's this wind cultists, and then there's these people that like hate androids, and like who made the androids, and how did they have anything to do with the convergence, and all these different things that the movie kind of gives you little tidbits of, not enough, just a little bit of. I thought that was interesting. There are some parts that I like we talked about. It's a little long. Cut some things here, trim some things here.
Yep.
Maybe would have kept it a little bit more with the Mad Max influences. Maybe show a little violence. It's okay, you know.
Hard agree.
Mark Hamill had done plenty of PG-13 movies up to this point. And actually, the same year he did this movie, he did another thriller where he would play like a hitchhiking serial killer in a rated R movie. So he immediately was going like against like Star Wars. And as soon as he was done with those movies, he was like, I want nothing to do with being the good guy, which makes sense. Probably where he'd been if you look at like Daniel, whatever his name is from Harry Potter, he did a lot of similar things. Immediately does completely different shit than Harry Potter. Like, I want nothing to do with fantasy movies because I don't want people to think that that's like all I do. Right? I'm going to do different stuff. And I always like Mark Hamill. And this is how I came to find this movie. Was two ways. One, I'd never seen it before. I knew it existed just going through Mark Hamill's IMDb, because when I was in college, I had this argument with my two college roommates, Philip and Jack. I tried to get Philip on the show. He told me he was too busy. So, hey, what are you going to do? And he's probably not. He's not listening either. But he used to say jokingly that Star Wars killed Mark Hamill's career, and that him and Carrie Fisher never did anything after Star Wars. And I would be like, that's just not true.
That's just wrong. That's
like,
just wrong on the face of it.
Fundamentally wrong. Like Harrison Ford, obviously had like more of like a bigger career with Indiana Jones and other things like that. Yeah. But Mark Hamill did tons of movies. Carrie Fisher did tons of movies.
The Burbs.
And so this is how I
think of, like
exactly.
I love that movie. Like,
this is how I first came to know this movie. It was like looking up Mark Hamill movies and being like, "What the fuck is Slipstream? I've never seen it." Then when we started doing this show, I bought like the source material called World Gone Wild, which is just a collection of short paragraph-long reviews of post-apocalyptic movies. Not all of them, but just like a solid, like I think the guy did like a couple thousand. It's a big book of movies. And I'm reading it after I bought it. I bought it like a year ago. So I'm reading it. I'm going through the pages. And I get to Slipstream, and then I see the cast. And that's what like triggers in my mind that like, I've heard of this movie before. I'd never seen it, but like Mark Hamill, Bill Paxton, as you're reading it and learning, seeing the description of it, you're like, God, this sounds like a weird fucking movie. So that was what kind of led me to being like, we got to talk about this one on the show because it sounds insane, and it was a fun time. It is a very, very fun time. Yeah. As far as 80s sci-fi movies go, I feel like that genre of like 80s sci-fi movies has kind of died off, and God, I wish it would come back. Because like when we looked at like the movies that were most successful this year, it was like throwback horror movies. like we are firmly in a recession. When horror movies are the ones that are number one at the box office. So hopefully we get some more interesting sci-fi movies, because man, I need some more not big budget, but medium-sized budget sci-fi movies that don't have anything to do with superheroes. Just interesting science fiction takes on the world. This one is a cool one. If you've never seen Slipstream, I will have a link to it on the video, so you can click on that and watch it on YouTube yourself. It is an easy watch, easy to watch to find.
Well, starting the cult right, bringing it to the people.
Exactly. Yes, come drink our Kool-Aid. It's all good here. The weather is just fine. enjoy the Slipstream. Well, before we depart, thank you, Colin, for coming along.
Yeah, and thanks for having me, guys.
I will have a link to his show as well, so you can click on that and follow and go listen to them play some tabletop. That's always a fun thing. We've talked about doing that on this show, but actually I had an idea for a spinoff. And I'm just going to throw it out there now, because maybe someone else, because no one else has done it yet. And it merges two worlds, right? So you do a movie review show where you're reviewing sword and sandal movies while you simultaneously play the plot of the movie in a D&D setting.
Okay. And it would be interesting to see where the dice makes the story diverge.
Exactly. Yeah. But you would have to completely adapt a movie to a tabletop setting weekly. So that alone is immediately like, that's a lot of work. I don't want to do that. So somebody else freely take the idea. Take it. I don't care, because I would never have the time to do that. That would just be way too much writing. I just don't possess the ability to adapt movies to D&D such or tabletop systems as quickly as that would need to do. I guess you could do it like you could do it very easily with ChatGPT. You just type it in like, hey, make me a D&D system for, I don't know, Deathstalker 4, whatever movie. But yeah, well, that'll be an idea for one day. Maybe someone will do it. So thank y'all for coming along. And we'll be back next week to talk about... What are we talking about next week?
We're talking about Final Fantasy... What's the...
Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Yeah.
Spirits Within.
Oh, shit. Right. I remember that.
Yeah. We're going to have my good friend from high school, Jamie, on, who actually... Me and him went and saw this movie in theaters.
I did, too. That was where I learned about the concept of the Uncanny Valley.
Nice. That's going to be a fun time next week. So y'all come back and listen to us talk about high school days, seeing Final Fantasy in theaters, playing Final Fantasy, and being very confused as to what the hell the movie has to do with the video games after you saw it, because it was a little perplexing when I was 15, still perplexing when I'm almost 40. Oh, there you go. See y'all next week. Bye.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Hot damn, college boy. Thank you so much for listening. Every single week we come back with a new movie about the end of the world, or a movie about the beginning of the end of the world, or what happens after the end of the world, or maybe one day we just decide to watch Showgirls. Who knows? Right? But every week we are coming back, and thank you so much for stopping in this week and listening to the whole episode and hearing our thoughts on whatever train wreck of a movie I chose to force my friend to watch this week. I'm a good person like that. And thank you for also being a good person. There you go. If you want to be a really, really fucking cool person, which you obviously are, why don't you give us a like, and actually, more importantly, give us a subscribe. I find that to be more important. I don't know if the algorithm says it is. I don't really give a shit. But thank you for your patronage either way, and clicking all the things and doing all the stuff. Bye. Thanks.